is Yamaha on the second row, but to put 15 laps together around here, that's going to be something, isn't it, for him?
It's going to be tough, but what a ride there. I mean, that lap was stunning, unbelievable. Fabio Quartararo, again, just like last year on the inline 4, he was able to deliver with the grip of that soft tire. He's able to use it and make it count. So yeah, a beautiful performance from Fabio Quartararo. The V4 Yamaha is still very early days, so you do feel like in a race situation he's going to be vulnerable in the straight. He's going to get lined up by the more powerful bikes from the other manufacturers, but a great performance for the team and the manufacturer for Yamaha, you know, to give a little bit of a moral boost for everybody.
Exactly, after all that hard work. What about the perhaps in Jorge?
Do we have audio? Audio? Do we have audio? Audio? Now it's coming. Do we have audio? Finally. Now it's coming. It's been hectic. Where are we? We are at the start of the sprint finally, after more than an hour's worth of delay. More than an hour's worth of delay. Finally, we are at the start. More than an hour's. Yeah, okay. Audio is good. So, sprint got delayed because we had a track malfunction, let's say. There was rain in the lead up to the weekend, so a lot of moisture under the asphalt. And when you have these bikes running on track, this is a first time we've come here in about 20 years. So a lot of resurfacing has happened, a lot of track maintenance has happened. So with all those runnings that we had with Moto3, Moto2, and the big boys in MotoGP, it turned out that there was some sand particles under the asphalt moving around, shifting around. And we ended up having a block, about 1 meter by 1 meter block of asphalt actually coming out. So track was deemed dangerous by safety concerns. Having established that it would need repairs, there has been a very good effort to get the show back on track. It's been an hour, 20 minutes. Let's just run down who's starting where. We'll just do the top 5. Digi starts on pole. Digi took a surprise pole. I didn't expect Digi to take pole. Benzeki starts P2. Marc Marquez is P3. Quartararo P4. That was a shock as well from Yamaha. Yamaha didn't expect that by any means necessary. And Jorge brings up P5. Oh, songs just finished. We're about to start the formation lap. Finally, the second race weekend. Well, the business end of the race weekend can get away. Didier, I think you should be in a shout to get a podium. I think Marc Marquez and Marco Benzecchi will be the out-and-out favorites for the win, for the sprint win. Between the two, I think I would put my money on Marc Marquez, simply because he's similar to what Max is in Formula One, right? He pushes racing to the limits and then some. People often call them dangerous, dirty, whatever. That's fine. It's just adventurous racing. Formation lap is underway. Formation lap is a go. Jeez, racing line looks decent. Racing line does look decent. The question is, will the rest of the track hold up? That is the question doing rounds with most of the experts, because where we had the issue was on the pit straight, just coming out of the final corner. Exactly around the pit wall is where we had the issue. It was offline, so no real danger of rider injury. But again, the way that MotoGP is, it's combat at... Will you be showing the race? No, unfortunately, I won't. This is Kyle Harrison. I won't be showing the race because I'll get strikes. So just a watch along. If you're interested, you can stay along for the watch along. I will not be showing the race. It's not possible to show the race. So formation lap is just coming to an end. 5 viewers, jeez, man, getting a bit nervous. 5 viewers. So there's a couple of concerns that will the rest of the track hold up, especially the racing lines. There's a couple of heavy braking zones. So let's see. The issue we're having this weekend is moisture underneath the surface is coming out of the asphalt and breaking it apart. Oh, finally. Red flag. Red flag. Riders in position. Launch devices in position. Green flag. Waving at the back. Green flag. 5 lights. 5 lights off. Oh, wheel spin for Fermin. I think it's Fermin. Aldiger got off the line very badly, almost crashed into Alex on the other side. DG gets off well. Quartararo looking for the outside. DG's covered the inside. Marc Marquez ahead of Fabio Quartararo. Marco Benzecchi loses positions off the start. It's been a clean start elsewhere. It's only Fermin Aldiger that had the wheel spin, nearly crashed into his own teammate, but he's recovered sort of okay. He's not at the back of the pack as such. He should be able to salvage something. Quartararo on Marc Marquez through the long right-hander of, I want to say turn 2. It's a new track for me, not too familiar with the track, not too familiar with the corners. DG leads Fabio, Fabio leads Marquez, Marquez leads Benzecchi, and Benzecchi leads Jorge. Oh, jeez. John Mir, I think riding on the curbs past the white line to get through. I want to say that was Acosta. Who was that? It was one of the KTMs. It was shove, shove, and shove. Block pass after block pass through the opening exchanges. Paco Bagnaia is still just there or thereabouts. I think Paco started 9th or 10th. He's made it up to 8th, so 1 or 2 positions gained off the start. Quartararo's been the surprise of the start. He's gotten ahead of Marc Marquez. Gap between DG P1, Quartararo P2 is half a tenth. Marc Marquez, you'd expect him to make light work of Fabio. Alex attacking Agura into turn 1. I think Alex got hot into the braking zone. Yeah, he ended up running wide. Agura with a cutback into turn 1. Oh, jeez, man. It's so anxious when you see these riders going wheel to wheel, when you see them pulling out those block passes. It's combat on two wheels. The slightest bit of contact, lose balance, and someone's in the gravel. So far, it's been clean. Just Fermin, who had the crazy wheel spin. He nearly shot into the side of Alex. Nearly shot into the side of Alex off the line. Through 6 and 7, Marc Marquez is following very tightly behind Quartararo. Quartararo is just placing that bike as wide as he can. He knows when... Oh, John Mears crashed out. John Mears crashed out, man. Unfortunate for the guy. Marc Marquez pushing Fabio out of the final corner. Literally front wheel to rear wheel, grinding almost. Fabio's under pressure from Marc Marquez. Fabio knows if Marc gets through, there's no way that he's going to be able to regain that position. You've got Fabio leading Marc and both the Aprilias of Bezzecchi, followed by John Mir. Ayagura's holding position in 6th. Not sure he's under too much stress in that position. Quartararo braking so late on the brakes, trying to outdo Marquez in every corner, every position he can. Every turn, every braking point, he's trying to outdo Marc Marquez. He has to do... Oh, he just locked his wheels. Oh, Fabio Quartararo having a moment. Marc putting the cutback, running through Quartararo. Not sure what happened. I think it's one of those things that we saw in qualifying, where there was that one right-hander where Quartararo bended, where Digi bended, where Marc bended, a couple of riders bended in the same lap. I think it was the same corner where Fabio just had... I just saw a puff of dust. I want to say it was smoke from the tire lockups. Oh, Fabio, he's lucky he's not lost out a lot. He lost out to Marc, and then later on, Bezzecchi's got through as well. Jorge Martin is now pushing Quartararo. Quartararo, man, I'll give him credit. Yamaha wasn't meant to be here. The Yamaha by no means was meant to be here. Quartararo is making it as wide as possible. He's lacking horsepower, he's lacking aero. Down the pit straight, Jorge Martins leveled him in the braking zone. Block pass, yeah, that's it. There's no point in letting the brake off, and because you're gonna run wide in the braking zone, you're gonna lose position to the guy you're fighting and the rider behind. Quartararo back into P5 where he initially started the GP. Oh, when I say GP, the sprint race. SP, better to say. So the gap between Digi and Marc Marquez as it stands is over a second. A second and 2/10 between Digi and Marc. Between Marc and Bez in P3 is about 4/10, 5/10. It's fluctuating. Pecco Bagnaia in P8 is under pressure from Acosta. Pecco's just not been on it, man, since last season. Not sure if it's confidence, if it's the handling of the bike. Pecco has just lost all confidence. And then on the other side of the garage, you have Marc Marquez. You just give him 2 wheels and an engine, and he's putting it on pole. Pecco, I think mentally he needs to regroup. He needs to find that sweet spot he had a couple of seasons ago and get back into his rhythm. Gap between Digi, we on lap 5. Gap between Digi and Marc is holding. It's now at 1.3 seconds. Gap between Marc and Bez though is increasing. It's about 7/10. So everyone is pushing, but you can't really tell who's getting the advantage. The problem is the track surface is still fairly new, and we've had the rain, so it's a bit slippery. there's a lot of water from underneath the asphalt that is sipping onto the surface, and the riders aren't exactly sure about the braking points offline. Of course, if you are watching the race, what I mean by offline is where the track is a bit more lighter, where you see a black band running through the track, uh, hugging the apexes of corners. That is the racing line, where you see the rubber left from the wheels. So if you go off the line, it's a bit risky. Into turn one, I think it's fine, especially if you level the guy under braking. So at the end of lap 5, Marc is just closed up at 10th. We're on lap 6 of lap 15. Marc's cut down 2/10 now. Marc's got to go hunting. Ayogura block pass into turn 1 on Fabio. Ayogura slightly runs it wide. Fabio with a cutback. Oh, Fabio running those tight lines, running tight lines. I will say Yamaha and Aprilia are very good at running tighter lines into corners. Oh. And by the way, the anomaly with Fabio is his complaint has been that the bike doesn't turn under braking, but because of his riding style, because of his braking points and the way he manages throttle, he's managing to force it to turn under braking. Even we saw it in Thailand as well, among that squiggly section. Again, not really familiar with the tracks, so don't judge me on that. But Fabio has managed to turn that bike where other Yamahas on the grid have been struggling. Fabio is the standout Yamaha, and Pedro Acosta is the standout KTM as well. Marc Marquez has brought that gap down to under a second on lap 6 of a possible 15. That gap is now down under a second. Gap between Marquez and Jorge. Jorge's got through on Bez. That's interesting. We didn't see the overtake that Jorge did on Bez. There's a speculation that Bez may have had a mistake. What's he done? Oh yeah, he's got the wide. He's gone wide. He's got the slide going into that squiggly bit, man. Don't ask me about the corners. Just trust me on the squiggly bits where the riders were crashing in qualifying. Bez just, I don't know, he got braking wrong. I'm not sure what happened. He went offline and he lost a lot of time. And Jorge capitalized on that. Gap between DG and Marc is under 8/10 on lap 7. Gap between Marc and the lead Aprilia Jorge is around 2 seconds on lap 7. Marc is pushing. He's pushing for the win. I thought Bez would have had a better race because that Aprilia seems to be the only one that can hold a candle to Marc Marquez. But we're not too sure yet. It's still just the second race weekend of the season. We've still got the whole season left. A long, long way to go till that last GP in Valencia. So, dude, Ayogura is mounting pressure on Fabio, heading into turn 1 in the braking zone. No, Ayogura is just behind. It's just a couple of bike lengths behind Fabio. Ayogura is, and Fabio is holding his own into 5th, man. Fabio is holding his own in 5th. Johan Zarco has crashed out. Turn 1. Late in the braking, probably. Gone wide. Probably just wiped out the front end as well. Oh, man. You feel for guys like Johan, guys like John Mir. These guys have had such up and down seasons, and for Joan Mir especially, ever since he joined Honda. Oh yeah, Zarco, he just washed out his front. No grip under turning. Tires just gave out. I was saying, John Mir, how many times have we seen it? Gang. Sosa Ribio says gang. Not sure what that means. I was saying, John Mir, ever since he joined Honda, man, it's just been terrible, man. He's had more DNFs than he's had race finishes. Marc's brought it down to under half a second between him and Digi. Ayagora levels Quartararo under braking into turn 1. Fabio looks for the cutback. Not there, not there. Oh yeah, into turn 2, Ayagura's gone. Ayagura's gone. He managed his braking this time. He didn't overshoot it. Park the bus at the middle of the apex. Force everyone to slow down, lose time overall. And he's made it stick this time, Ayagura. There's a battle going on. Diego Morera has closed up to Pedro Acosta in P9, and Pedro's pushing Pecco along. And ahead of Pecco, just ahead of Pecco, is Alex Marquez. Alex also doesn't have the pace this weekend. Most of the Ducatis that you would have expected to be the powerhouses this weekend, it's not worked out for them. It's not worked out for most of the Ducatis. You've got two Ducatis being Digi and Marc leading the GP. You've got two Aprilias, factory Aprilias, following them in Acosta under braking. On Bagnaia. Dive bomb, dive bomb, dive bomb. Hold it under braking, hold it under braking. Oh yeah, park the bus, block pass. No room for Bagnaia to do the cutback. Acosta just holding the middle of that corner. Down the pit straight. Pecco's holding it down the pit straight. Oh yeah. Oh geez, that's tight, that's tight, that's tight. The Ducati under acceleration is far more superior than the KTM of Acosta. Under acceleration out the final corner down the back straight, he just leveled him under braking. Bagnaia, he actually overtook Acosta before the braking zone and undid that overtake from Pedro Acosta. Pecco is fighting battles, but it's not where he wants to be fighting. On lap 10 of 15, the gap out front is under 5 tenths. Under half a second. It's around 4 tenths now between Digi and Marc. These two have pulled far clear. It's about 2.5 seconds to Jorge. Marc in P2 and Jorge P3. It's about 2.5 seconds. Unless these two have something dramatic go on. P1 and 2 is basically sealed by these two. Pitch is freezing up a bit. We're riding on board. Pitch is freezing up a bit. Not sure what's going on. Fermin Aldeguer, he's not recovered. He's still out of the top, I want to say 15. Still not on the timing board. That was a terrible get off the line. He just had a whole lot of wheel spin. And the worst part for him was that he was headed in the direction of Alex to the right. Marc is still hunting down Digi, both of them on a hard and slick tire. Both of them pretty even on tires. Where else is there a fight going on? Pecco is building up a fight on Alex. Oh, who's gone down? Is that Acosta? No, that's the other KTM. Vinales has gone down. Maverick Top Gun Vinales is out. He's crashed out. Probably another front washing out. It's a new asphalt. Problem is, there's been rain around. Surface is a bit tricky. It's not as straightforward as just pull the pin and push and then load up the tires under braking. It's not as easy. So here's the problem that Marc has. Normally he's fighting Benzeki or someone for position, right? The problem is Ducati is more superior than the other manufacturers with regards to top speed, with regards to the aero package overall, with regards to the bike package overall. Problem Marquez has is DG is also running a Ducati, although it might be a modified version of last year's Ducati, but it's still a Ducati. That advantage under acceleration, under braking, is not there anymore. It's rider skill on rider skill between Digi and Marc. Maybe if this was the full GP, Marc could have kept piling on pressure over a longer period of time on Digi and forced Digi to make a rider error. But because there's only 4 laps to go now, we're on lap 11 or 15. It's not very likely that Digi is gonna make a mistake with just 3 laps to go. Yeah, Acosta's lost time on Bagnaia apparently. We haven't seen what happened with Pedro. I just saw, the last I saw of Pedro was he got through on Pecco coming out the final corner, and then Pecco retook the position into the braking of turn 1. And since then, the shot has only been of Alex and Pecco. Marc spotted down under 3/10 with 3 laps to go. Gap is under 3/10 for the lead. Gap is under 3/10 for the lead between Marc and Digi. Not a whole lot of left-handers. I think it's only about 5 left-handers. We know Marc has had the right arm surgery, so left-handers, he's the king of left-handers. Luigi Dall'Igna, he's a bit nervous. He's got two of his bikes fighting for the lead. He doesn't care who wins it. Well, he'd prefer Marquez win. Factory Ducati win. Oh, Gigi's gotten wide. That's an easy overtake. Easy overtake for Marc Marquez. Fabio into braking just ended up running slightly wide. Marc Marquez is a shock in water sniffing blood. First opportunity he got and he's gone through. Coming into the turn 1 braking zone. Is Digi close enough? Can he park the bus on the inside? No, he can't. Digi's not close enough. Digi can't park the bus. Marc just needed 1 moment. Marc was hanging around the 310 mark. He just needed 1 moment to get through. And he's gone through. What's Digi doing now? Digi's hanging on to the rear tire of Marc Marquez. Marc Marquez almost had some wheel spin, man. Jeez. Dude, first of all, temperatures are going down. Track temperatures are going down. And it is a track surface not giving a lot of grip. You've got temperatures dropping. You've got the surface not acting so well. You have to be tentative. Oh, man. Both of them having mistakes. The problem is Digi's mistake cost him the position. Digi's mistake cost him the lead. Digi's still hanging on though. He's still hanging on. He's scouting where he can make the move. 2 laps to go. 3/10 between Digi and Marc for P1. There's no other real fight exactly going on except for Pecco and Alex. Aldeguer's made it up to the top 14. He's made it into P14. Last lap. Last lap, nothing doing into turn 1 for Digi. Nothing doing into turn 1. Digi is still hanging on. It's the final lap. He's building, he's building, he's building. He's even going off lines. He's offsetting Marc's lines on the last lap. He's trying to go wide where Marc is going tight. And when Marc is going wide, he's trying to go tight. DJ is going to let the brake off in one of the braking zones. In one of the braking zones, he has no options but to let the brake off. Oh, DG. DG is pushing Marc along at this point. DG gets so close at times. And I don't know if he's reacting to Marc's spikes or Marc's braking zones. But he's having to brake more early, a bit more harder. 2 more corners to go. Digi, he's gone tight. Is he gonna go for a cutback? No, he's not. Marc Marquez gets wiggly on exit. Wiggly on exit. He's held position. Comes to the line. Takes the flag. Digi by 2/10 misses out. Digi misses out by 2/10 on a win that was his. The win was Digi's. He had one moment and Marc sniffed blood in the water. Took his chance, made it stick. Marc as well suffered wheel spin, man, in the last couple of laps. Marc as well was nervous in the braking zones, and Digi on some corners would get so close to that rear tire that he had to brake off a bit too much to preserve his race, to make sure he doesn't touch Marc, to make sure there are no accidents. Jorge Martin, by the way, takes P3. Jorge Martin finishes ahead of Benzeki. Marc Marquez on that red Ducati. It's a sight I love to see. I love to see Marc Marquez winning, man. That guy is something else. Once in a generation talent, that man. Whoa, sprint race. I will say there was some good action. Thankfully, not a whole lot of DNFs. I know some people watch MotoGP for the DNFs, for the unpredictability of the race results, for the riders rather, that put everything on the line. But this race was, it was nerve-wracking. I'll say that. It was nerve-wracking. Why can I not pull out the results? What's going on? So apparently I can't pull out the results. The app has not updated it as yet. These are the race results. Bear with me while I try to sort out these placements. There we go. There we go. These are the race results. Marc Marquez taking another sprint victory with the red team. He was following Digi for quite some time. He had to spend a lot of time clawing back the gap that Digi was able to pull out when Fabio made it into P2. I think a second and I want to say 3/10 was the gap at one point. And then from there, Marc ended up pulling off the overtake with about 3 or so laps to go. Digi ran a little wide, got his braking wrong into one of the corners, ended up running wide. Marc Marquez just needed that one opportunity to make it stick, and so he did. Digi as well. He did well. He did well, I will say. He did well to hang on to that challenge of Marc Marquez. There were some points when Digi got too close for comfort, let's say, and in a bid to avoid, let's say, collision, he ended up losing time under braking because he was under brakes longer than I'm saying Max, longer than Marc. These two were your runaway leaders. Fabio was the cork in the bottle. Once Marc got through, he got hunting after Fabio, and then the problem was that Bezzecchi and Martin took a little more time to get through on Fabio. So that ended up making that gap between P2 and P3 that much more wider. And then you had Marc pushing to close the gap up front. That increased the gap further. So Jorge Martin takes P3. Bezzecchi had a mistake. He got his braking wrong as well. He had some wheel spin as well. And Martin was able to capitalize on that. Ayogura, he put up a good fight. There was a good battle between him and Fabio. A whole lot of block passes, mind games under braking. That was good to watch. Quartararo, though, holding his own in P6. That Yamaha was not meant to get into, let's just say, the top 10. I want to say the top 10. That bike is that bad. But Quartararo is that good that he pulled it into P2 in the initial stages of the sprint. He managed to hold on to P2 for quite some time. He managed to hold P5 as well for quite some time. Alex Marquez behind Fabio. Alex just didn't have pace. Alex, Pecco, Acosta, Morera at one point was closing in on Acosta, but nothing substantial was happening in terms of gaining position, overtakes, and block passes. They were all riding very close to each other at one point, but they more or less held position. So that is your top 10. Outside your top 10, it's Luca Marini, Ralph Hernandez, Alex Rins, Fermin Aldeguer. Again, Fermin Aldeguer with that horrid start. He almost ran into Alex off the line. That is how much wheel spin and how out of control his bike was. Brad Binder brings up P15, Frankie in 16, Anea in 17. And is it Topback? How do you pronounce the name? I think it's Topback in 18, Jack Miller in 19, Vinales, Zarco, and Mir, your 3 retirees of the race. Oh man, John Mir. I just pray this guy sorts out his racing, man. It's been an awful couple of seasons for John Mir, especially since he joined Honda. More DNFs than race finishes. It's not a stat you'd like to see. Unfortunately, the sprint today ended up being delayed quite a bit. We had the issue with the rain. We had the issue with the tarmac falling slightly apart. So repairs were going on. And a whole lot of things got delayed. A lot of things got, let's just say, in disarray. So that has been the tale of today. It's been a short live. I was hoping to do a longer one if the race got underway on normal at its initial start time. I see a whole bunch of people joined. I got nervous because normally when I've been doing this, it's normally just 1 or 2 people that watch. There was about 6-8 people at one point. So I don't know if you guys are still watching, but I'm still new to this. I'm still figuring out how to do things. I'm still figuring out my setup and everything. Do stay with me. Do leave a like. Do subscribe. Do comment. Do interact with me. Let me know what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. Always open to critique as long as it's helpful. We will meet tomorrow for the GP. I will do a watch along for the GP as well. There was a guy who was, what was his name? Kyle Harrison. He asked, will you be showing the race? I will not be showing the race. That is against copyright. So I cannot show the race. I can show myself watching the race and discussing what's going on in the race. And we can discuss about that during the race and after the race. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Thank you so much. Do like, do subscribe, do comment, and stick around.